dude, where was you born and raised?
I was born in Hawley, but raised in Nottingham.
Right, cool. So, and what music was you listening to when you was growing up?
Well, first Top of the Pops, as most, recording with your stereo against the TV speaker, you know what I mean? Channels 1 to 3. And then I can remember one of my old friends gave me an electro tape, Electro 1. And then that kind of changed everything. Pac Jam, Wiki, all that kind of stuff. And that literally changed the musical outlet from Boy George to different stuff.
Exactly, man. I think I'll keep on saying this. Everyone I interview, that's sort of part of the scene and part of the scene, always goes back to that electro. And I think it's because it was that genre that was then coming into the scene that everyone was like, this is new. This is not like the charts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the house that when he showed me on the doorstep, he just said, "You've got to listen to this," and it was a white tape with blue writing. I can remember it was a sunny day. You know what I mean? Or that was that moment where music kind of expanded.
So going forth, what actually pushed you to go into the scene and start making tunes?
Bit of this, bit of that. I mean, basically, we were clubbing. I mean, I hated it when it first came out. I remember the track I see.
Yeah.
And I was into hip hop then,
right?
And I didn't get it at all. Just what is this? This music's awful. You know what I mean? And then obviously a few bits of this, a bit of that. You know what I mean? Drops a few things, and then suddenly it all changed. And I can remember it was the other half of Nebula 2, Cozzy, who really got me into the music. Because we went to we were at college and he was doing a party and he said, "Do you want to come to this party? We're DJing." And I'd never DJed before or anything like that. That was the first night. Went to a village hall in a village in Nottingham called Burton Joyce. And I remember having a joker and going, well, nothing's happening, you know what I mean? And I drank loads and loads of beer and kept drinking beer as you do back then, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden, it just hits you, bang, yeah. And I remember walking down my kind of road, because I live on my mum used to live in a cul-de-sac. And I remember walking down the road in the morning and literally looking at everything, and nothing was the same. Everything, literally every single aspect. The tree where the conkers grew, the view over the road, the view to the left, the view to the right, everything had changed. And then we just kind of like fell into the scene, and we made the first track we made was on an Amiga on that program Optimeg, with a homemade Tandy kind of output for two mono leads and everything. And we made a track, put it on tape, as you do back then. We sent it off to Warp Records, and they sent the tape back. That was our first kind of no. No, this ain't going, you know what I mean? And then we basically Cozzy kind of came up with some ideas for the tracks and got me involved, and the rest is history, really.
So I'll get confused with this, because when I hear COD Rider, Flatliners, man, like that EP, literally, it's for me, it's a force to be reckoned with. But I've got to ask you this question. So that was on J for M, yeah?
Yep.
Right. Was that a side label for Reinforced?
No, that was a label set up by a guy called Tony, who ran the local record shop, Just Grooves.
Right.
And DJ Expression, a good friend of ours, Dave, who was from Newcastle but worked there with DJ One Step as well. Because he had made these beats and got involved, and we gave it to them, and he said, "Look, you need to sign this." And he set up the label with a guy called Johnny's, who was Basic Rhythm on J4M. And he was a kind of a bit of a soul producer, but he was a really good producer. So we went up to his place to get it all done and finished and mastered and all that kind of stuff. And Tony was a Londoner, the guy who owned the record shop, and he knew obviously the people down there, and he obviously got it to Reinforced.
Yeah.
And got it signed on Reinforced. So J4M was a separate label in its own entirety. He just sub-licensed the track to Reinforced.
So, you know, how old was you when you made that track, if you don't mind me asking?
18.
Why? I've got to say this, right? Why is it all you guys, man? Like I interviewed Blame last week. He was 17 when he made Music Takes You. He said it took him 4 hours. Then you
Yeah.
say you say that you're the same age and you make another killer rhythm.
Yep.
This can't be possible at 18. You guys are like mad, aren't you?
It was the time, though, isn't it? It's the time. It's like, I mean, the thing is, it was a new music format. It didn't matter what you did. It was new.
Yeah.
It was just that moment. You know, you could press a key. I mean, if you think of most of the songs back in the day, it's just, but that was new. Someone would go, that was new. It'd never been done before. So every single thing which was coming out was just fresh and just clean, and the sounds were different, and people were experimenting with things. And because it was all, like I said, it was just right at the beginning. So it didn't matter what you did. It was new.
So from the aspect of when you made, was that's what got you onto the line, wasn't it? Was obviously that was a thing. So how did you feel when you started hearing that in big raves and stuff? Because that was played everywhere.
Yeah, again, the times was like, I mean, we went to Just Grooves one morning and we got told Top Buzz played it the night before. At the Eclipse, someone came up and said, "Oh, we heard your tune," and Top Buzz played it. That, I mean, we didn't really hear it out because unless we were playing.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's fax machines back then.
Yeah.
Mobile phones had only just come out, and people were still driving around the country dropping off flyers.
Yeah.
So unless you knew this thing was going on down in London or Barnsley or somewhere else, you know, Doncaster or anything like that, unless you were there, you'd never get to hear it. So we heard it very rarely.
True, though. True. So then, was it Peacemaker that you made?
Yes. Yeah. Peacemaker and Exploration.
And then that was signed to Reinforced, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you ever go?
Sorry?
Go on. No, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, so did you ever go down to Reinforced?
Yes, we did. We went down after the first track to meet them and say hello and everything, and then we clocked it. We actually did spend a day in the studio at Reinforced. So we did everything in Nottingham. Obviously, we're Nottingham based, they're London based. It was again traveling backwards and forwards. Back then, it was the only way to meet anybody, or telephone, or payphone or whatever. So we did do a session down there. We did the Clocked It, the techno track down there, did the EP, and then Digo remixed one of the tracks as well. Yeah,
because if you think like that was one of the biggest labels knocking around. You know, you had 4 Hero on there. You know, you had, when you look at the amount of artists, you know, I couldn't even begin to go through how many artists were like signed to Reinforced or were on that label. Like you've got everyone on that. Like even I think like when I saw Goldie even done, I think he done his training at Reinforced. I'm sure he did. There's a story behind it. You know what I mean? So that must have been like quite a mark on the book to say that you was part of that crew.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, we were just there.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like done on purpose.
No.
And we, tell you the truth, we were more interested in the music rather than we just liked what we were doing.
You know what? I think that's really good, like from back then, because you get a lot of people that go, they're more in for it for the money than anything else, not in it for the production and stuff. And you see that a lot. That go, where's my money? And it's like, it's not that they're putting out a record; it's where's the money.
Yeah.
And I think
the thing is most of those are still going.
Oh yeah, I get that. You know, it's not about going, there's a tune, man, I made this, and it might be the highest quality of a jungle tune, drum and bass tune, or whatever. But it's, you know, it's the fact is like you made that tune, it's out there. That's what it is at that point in time.
Absolutely, and that's what I still do. I mean, I don't make music as much. I tell you the truth, I've not touched music for probably about 4 years now.
Right.
But even in the art that I do now, I do like music videos and photography and digital design and so forth. So my job is design.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know what I mean. And I just like to just stick to, if it makes money, it makes money. I've got a job.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
So did you go under any different aliases than
Oh,
Nebula 2?
loads.
Did you?
We got Arcana, Spy. We had the first Spy. We had ran Red Eye Records, Celestial Records, Vision, Collide Records, The Vault.
Wow.
These were 5 techno labels that we ran from about 94 to 98. We put out probably about, I don't know, 100 releases, various names.
Wow.
We're doing the same kind of thing, reinforced it, working with producers, but putting it out into the producer's name, but doing a lot of the production ourselves.
Okay, I didn't know that. It's very interesting. This is why I host a lot of these interviews, because I think a lot of people don't know about the people. They don't know about what they've done. And when I say about like Alias and stuff, you know, I was saying to Blame as well the same thing. I didn't, because I've done some work with Easy Rollers, one half of them.
Yep.
He engineered like one of my tracks, but I didn't realize that he was hyper on experience, and he was like, "Yeah, everyone went under different aliases," and I didn't know that. But, you know,
I didn't know that probably till about 6 years ago.
Yeah, well, you know, I was collecting records from like, you know, hence the word bedroom DJ. So, you know, I was buying records since like 80, 87, 88. So I didn't realize that everyone had like aliases and stuff and this and that. So, you know, it's all good. As I say, backtracking, this is why I do these interviews, so people get to know what you're about, what you've done.
Well, it's interesting actually, because I'm finding out what I'm about as well, because someone played me a record that I forgot we did under a different name called Coca, which was on Juicebox, which was a guy called Gerald's label.
Guy called Gerald, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have twiddled the knobs that did Voodoo Ray. You know, we were in his studio on the same 303.
You did?
Yeah. Went up to his house and did some stuff. You know what I mean? And we set the first record label was Celestial, which was set up with, sorry, no. Juicebox was the one we set up with a guy called Gerald, and we did a couple of releases on that.
I see. You learn something different every day. I did not know none of that. And you know what? I think a lot of people are going to go, "Wow!" So this geezer twiddled the knobs on Voodoo Ray.
Yeah, claims fame.
You know, there's certain stuff that you just can't. I don't know. That's written in history, because that's going to go down as one of the biggest tracks. Voodoo
Absolutely.
Ray.
And for me, you know, just sitting in the studio twiddling the knobs was enough. You know, it's like that. You know, that's it. We made a song, but
you can't say you weren't a part of it.
More importantly, we played on the same 303. Because when I listened back to the track, I was kind of like, all right, fair enough.
I think like when you like speak about like a guy called Gerald, me personally, I don't think he gets a lot of props, because he's done. They think he just made people are collecting records. They think they just made that Voodoo Ray. Yeah. But if you look at like Jukebox, 28 Gun Bad Boy, this Africa,
the Pacific 808 State stuff. You know, the 808 State stuff, because he was a member of 808. Yeah, when it first started. He's done loads, man.
Yeah, I think him, as well as like, you know, I was saying this as well, Lenny D Ice, WIE. Yeah. This guy, I don't think he gets enough purpose either.
But it's the same with everybody in the scene, really, apart from obviously the people who have kind of got the longevity. They get you make something, and that's what people know you for.
Yeah.
Like unless you're a diehard fan, you don't really know anything else. So the first track we ever made was our most successful.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, confusion. That, you know, that's the one. But since then, there's been 30 years of music making.
I mean, Seance, man, yeah, again, it's them EPs, mate, from back then, man. When you heard that song, it's so ephemeral as well, man. It's just those, I've got them here, because I've got quite a bit on reinforced. You'd be silly not to buy that stuff and lose out on it, because you're not going to get it again, bog standard. But when you like, it's them tunes are just like, I think they will be there. And if you look at a top 100 or top 20, they are going to be in there, without a doubt.
But they're the ones we're known for, like you say, Lenny D Ice, WIE. I don't know much else of what he's done, but he's done loads of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like it's that one song that obviously that's the one, and it's just happened to be our first one. But since then, we've done probably about 200-300 releases.
So what come first? The Seance? No, Seance must have come second or third.
They actually were named wrong. They got the labels the wrong way around.
Did they?
Yeah. We named them we named them the other ones, and they just became that. So when everybody was always talking to me, I kept thinking it was the other one, not the one they're talking about.
Right. So how many EPs did you have? I call them EPs. Reinforced.
Yeah, Reinforced. We did 3 with 2 lots of remixes on 2 of them. So it's Seance Tamia, the remixes. Then we did Peacemaker, Exploration Core, the remixes, and then we did the Clock Tick track EP, which, to tell you the truth, I wasn't really a fan of anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like as I say, the contribution there has been quite half decent, man. To be honest, like if you think about it, you know, as you say, you look back on that time, and I think when you're part of that scene, like every tune back then was like I'd say, if you didn't have the money, you're going to lose some of them tracks.
Yeah.
You know, if it was the Reinforced, the production house, you know, and the Suburban Bass, Moving Shadow, right across that board, they were just churning really good music out. All the time, every week.
We got fortunate enough to like become friends with the record shops, and you know, the under the counter records. When you walk in, it's kind of like, yeah, here you go. You know what I mean? And one of the guys, Dave, luckily Expression, I mean, he used to, you know, just kind of, oh, I forget that one at every other one, and you used to come out with a stack of records, you know what I mean, this much, you know what I mean, you pay 30 quid for it, you're laughing your head off, and you go home and you play them out that night.
See, I think even like, I know things like get bigger, but like when I was first started shopping in Black Market, because I'm from London originally, so I moved to Norwich, but when you're down them areas and they get to know your face, that's when underneath the counter, and you're spending money there. And when it was $3.99, $4.99 for a vinyl, that's not too bad. But when it starts inflating and you're hitting 6-7 quid, well, as you say, you could walk out with a stack of tunes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, import, wasn't it? Import, $4.99. You know what I mean? And that was when it was. And the problem was there was a lot of good RNS.
you know, I remember buying. Just on the sidetrack of this, I remember buying, and this was the most expensive vinyl in, I think, 92. I'd say 92 was Ray Keith News at 10, but on a blue vinyl, one-sided.
Yeah.
I think that was $5.99.
Yeah.
And there was a limited run of it, and I think that's the most expensive back in the day tune I bought, because it was on coloured vinyl. So
yeah. Well, I'm not going to expose the people, but I do know a lot of people who used to make music in England. Get it shrink wrapped, so it looked like it was from America, and then charge import prices. But I'm not going to name any names.
No, don't. Also, what you said back then, the imports, like the Belgium guys had a lot to play in this. That thing. You think of the Joey Beltrams, you know. I think like. You guys, if we didn't cling on to that techno side of it to bring it in, you know, jungle techno, you know, those breaks and everything, you know, we've got to hand ourselves out to the Belgians, because they were really turning out, like the Hypnotist and people like that.
Yeah,
they were turning out some really good stuff.
Yeah, again, it was just fresh, but they were coming out with the same kind of but with. You know, just where did you get that? Mentasm and those Joe Beltram, you know what I mean? But it's that kind of European Belgium sound, you know what I mean? They were really experimenting hard. And the quality.
Like Mentasm, if you hear that in a club, that's a very, very dangerous tune, because when that come in, that's proper stomping.
Yes.
And you bring that into an old, I'm going to call it old school. You can throw that into that old school as well. Yeah. Because you can go off on the rails and come back in again, which was quite easy, because everything was sort of run at the same sort of BPM and stuff.
Well, there's certain songs like I would say R&S, because basically it was R&S, which still stand up today quite easily. You know, you'd be able to play them alongside other tunes which have been produced better and mastered better, you know, put through this special, I don't know, PC filter and everything. And those still stand up as like loud, hard tunes.
100%, because also I think, you know, nowadays, you know, technology moves forward. We can run stuff through our laptops. We don't, I'm not saying me, because I still try to go to a studio. So we can run these through our laptops, not get them EQ'd, compressed or anything. And what happens is you got something that's intended to be good but doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Because it's not got all the mastering involved.
Yeah.
It's really weird. So, you know, I'm going to ask you a few questions. So I'm going to say might going to be a bit hard for you to do this. So what is one of your best old school tunes?
That many. Literally that many. Let's go. One of my favorite mixes is Mentasm into Outlander.
Right, yeah.
Mate. So you're playing Outlander, you mix Mentasm into it. So it's 2, 3, 1, and it's just flipping. I love doing that one.
So what DJ would you say inspired you to do stuff?
Groove Rider, Fabio, Top Buzz, Mickey Finn, Frankie Valentine, Carl Cox,
Frankie Valentine.
Yeah, immense.
Yeah, you never. No one. Yeah, again, that's another person that doesn't really get a lot of props, and he was around for a long time when Groove Rider and Fabio started, weren't he?
Yep. Frankie Bones.
Yeah. Wow, man.
You know what I mean? But I mean, the ones that I probably mentioned off the top of my tongue were the ones. It was like, I tell you the truth, it was Fabio and Groove Rider from the start, then Top Buzz.
Really?
Because they just came with a package, didn't they? And they were just vibes.
Yeah, and I mean, those guys, you know, they call them the godfathers of like that scene, because they've been around before anyone sort of touched down on it, weren't they? Really.
Well, I remember the tape packs. You know, when obviously tapes started coming out, Top Buzz tapes were just like gold dust. You know what I mean? Because they were just they had energy. Because it wasn't a random MC chatting over somebody else. It was the MC for Top Buzz as a package.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't realise that all them boys rolled together as the Dream Team from back in the day.
Yeah,
so Mikey B, Timmy Magic.
Yeah. Jason, he's just been involved in so much that it's unreal when you actually like look back on it. You know, he just did all the garage stuff and just you know what I mean. Just like I say, and to tell you the truth, he's a really nice guy as well.
Yeah, when I seen him in a couple of interviews, this and that, he does come across like he's like not one of these guys that go, "Oh, the world owes me something because I've done something." You know what I mean?
No, there's a few people in the scene who I rate. I was speaking to my friend Ryan about this the other day, who I really rate. Jason's one of them. Mickey Finn's another.
Yeah.
Because they're just real. They just talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, they don't mess about and you big ego and anything. It's like, even I remember going down to Black Market one time, Mickey Finn trying to sell me a pyramid scheme. You're right, Joe. Got this thing, you know, you buy it and you sit on top and then you sit down below and you get someone else, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's real.
Yeah, definitely, mate. 100%. You know, you get these, you get a lot. To be honest, I'd say 80% of the people like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I'm like doing these interviews, I've asked a lot of people. A lot of people turn me down. And I get people are either busy or so and so, or I'm going to say because I'm a nobody, and that's fine, man. I ain't got a problem with that. You know, I'm asking a lot of people have got back to me. You know, Fearless, MC Fearless, Wayne Francis got back to me. Blame got back to me. You know, the Good Too Bad, the Ugly got back to me. You know, a lot of people got back to me, and it's just again, what I say is I just wanted people to know a bit about the stories behind what you know got you in to be a
man.
part of that thing. And,
No,
and
I'm honoured. Seriously, thanks very much for even.
no,
you know
mate,
I
I'm honoured. I'm honoured because, like, you know, the point is, like, you know, going back to Flatliner and stuff like that. You know, when I hear them records, I'm like, God, you know, these are the tunes that made me, you know, do what I need to do. It's what sort of got me on the radio and stuff like that. So,
Respect.
I'm gonna touch on something, and you don't have to tell. You can say no. I don't want nothing to do with it. I've got to big up Ecstasy.
Yes.
You know what? R.I.P. Adam Loke, because I used to I do a lot of Facebook lives, not so much because they're cutting it off. And you know what? This guy is a legend, and this guy used to come into my feeds, and for someone quite big to come in my feeds really inspired me a lot.
Yeah.
You know, giving me words of advice. Just carry on doing what you're doing. Carry on what you're doing. You know, he's one of our DJs used to DJ with him. That's on Upfront. Tempo. I think he comes from your neck of the woods. Yeah. Duncan. I think his name's Duncan. I can't think what his last name is. Okay. So he knew Adam. He's very good friends with him from back in the day and all sorts. So you know, R.I.P. Adam. You know, you two are very good friends, weren't you?
Yeah, very. Yeah.
You know,
I did a radio show the other day, and I'd not been because I went up to Manchester. And I'd not been years, and so I did a radio show for the first time in a couple of years. And you know, towards the end of it, it was just crying, and you know what I mean.
You can be the strongest and hardest of men, but it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about that, man. You know,
it's the tune. You know, it's the tunes. It's the tunes. Gets you. So I've got no problem with that at all. But yeah, no, I used to just, you know, he had the last laugh on me. When we went to the funeral and everything, you know what I mean? He cussed me while in his speech. Obviously afterwards, you know what I mean? He wrote a few notes, you know what I mean, to you know what I mean, make everybody laugh, and it did. Yeah. So it was cool, man, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's he had I think he's with Keen, who actually got to give massive props to. Because Keen did the chop of the beats on the Explore H core. Because we'd never done that thing before. We went out to his house and he showed us how to chop all the beats up, and he did all those on Explore H core. So those chops are from him, you know what I mean? So there were a lot of people involved in the music that we were making. But those two together got, I think it's the most expensive jungle track in the world ever. Which I was always. You got it?
What? Here I Come?
The Green Sleeves one.
I might, because I've got a lot on Green Sleeves.
It was out on Drum and Bass Arena as the most expensive jungle record of all time.
Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me.
It surprised me. It surprised me.
I'm going to say, listen, all the people that are watching, because this is across Mixcloud, Insta, the whole social network. Here I Come, Ecstasy and King. Go and check out that tune. If you don't know it, go and check that tune out. Because I've got that here, and that's a really good tune.
Wait a minute. It is Here I Come G-Funk Remix.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, basically, you know what I mean? It did surprise me, but we always used to have a laugh about it, you know? Because you used to say, well, because he apparently wanted to get on a reinforced mailing list back in the day. And I said, yeah, I'll sort it out. And I just, you know, gas Mark, and he's on the mailing list. So he was always going, yeah, thanks, man. I can't believe Jay got me on the reinforced mailing list. Yeah, but you've got the most expensive jungle tune in the world ever.
I mean,
it's worth more than mine.
R.I.P. Adam, man, because he's probably looking down now, laughing at both of us. So, R.I.P. You know. So, would you get back into making tunes, or are you saying we'll never say never?
The thing is, I nearly did at the beginning of that last lockdown.
Right.
Got the computer set up and everything, but just never. I turned it on. Put Cubase on, listen to the stuff that I hadn't finished last time around. I've probably got, I don't know, hundreds of tunes up there, you know, not done or completed. And then I got my camera out.
Right. I'll ask you another question as well. So what do you think of the jungle and drum and bass today?
There's a hell of a lot of it at the moment, because I still get the promo list for the old radio. I think I've got about 200 emails for October that I still haven't gone through yet. of new tracks. Obviously, EP, so there's probably 5 or 6 tracks per EP. I would say there's some seriously good stuff out there at the moment. Some seriously good stuff. Some quality tunes.
I mean, I've got two things on plate at the moment, and as I say, that was engineered by Alex Banks as a jungle tune. So I'm leaving it at the moment because I'm a fully qualified sound engineer, but that don't mean crap because technology moves on, and what I was probably working on back in 2000 and whatever is completely obsolete and stuff like that. So what someone's just popped up in the chat room and gone, "Oh man, you need to get back into the music."
The thing is, I do want to do it, but it won't be what I did back then.
No,
I mean, I've made a few bits and bobs. I mean, the thing is, one thing we are going to do is, tell you the truth, we're meant to do it next year, but with all what's going on at the moment, you know, everything's up in the air because it's 30 years. It's 30 years coming up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put together like a repress of some of the tracks, limited edition. You know, seriously limited edition, really nice design, artwork, and everything. A couple of remixes on there as well, and some unreleased on vinyl stuff. Because most of the stuff I've done since then, I kind of gave it away anyway. But I've decided to put some stuff on vinyl, which I, you know, because people have been saying, "I really like that on vinyl," really, because it's obviously MP3 and so forth. So we're going to do that. I would love to get back into it, but I want to. Like I say, it's kind of this whole thing's been a culmination of music. I've always wanted to do videos. I've always wanted to put the art together. So I want to do both together. I know of everything.
So you come as a package, really, now, don't you?
Yeah, because I know the management, I know the promotion. Obviously, it's changed a bit. You know what I mean. You got to have followers and whatever. But I'm not doing it for that. I'm just doing it because it's art, and I like doing art for all types.
I mean, a lot of people are doing a lot of repressing on stuff because I think there's not a lot of vinyl about, but there is. And I think if you look at the old school stuff being repressed, a lot of people didn't get it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know big up Mark Ranger, Kemet, he's done a lot of represses. You know, I think Ibiza are doing a lot of represses. There's a lot of people repressing that stuff out there. I think Terra and Vinyl are doing it. You know, I think it's the way to go. I really do.
Well, I mean, it's the only thing to do, really. So I want to do something. It's 30 years. It's a bit of a milestone, you know.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
And it's like next year's 2021 from 1991. I mean, next year should have been these massive old school reunion 30-year celebration parties that should have been going on and organised, but we don't know if that's going to happen this, you know, so we might have to bounce it to 92. Still a good music year.
So I just read someone's like, "There's always a job here up front for you." Respect. Yeah, because I see a lot of things. So this whole Dope Ammo have done a remix of Baby D, and they've brought something out on, like, you know, they're doing a 4-thing EP. So I think, you know what, I think that's the way to go, Joe, mate. I think that is the way to go. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we've got a couple of remixes sorted already, and I've got a couple of ones coming back. Getting organised right now. But like I say, things have kind of been put a bit on hold with obviously what's been going on. So I'm going to get my head around it. I mean, I've already kind of started designing it, and everything's kind of, I've got the track list and all that kind of stuff. I know what's going on. I've just got to get everything kind of remastered again and, you know, just organised and just basically organised and sorted, really. But it will be like like I say, limited edition, probably about 250 copies.
Pre-orders straight up front. So listen, what I say to you, you know, it doesn't say to anything. If you want a little bit of advertisement, we can throw it up on our website.
Respect, proper.
You know what, we try, because you know what, I feel like, because we say to people, you know, you're coming on the interview, let's do something in return for you because you're coming on here, you're helping me out, you know. So you know,
respect, man, respect. Proper.
When it happens, let us know, send us a link or whatever, you know, what we can link it in and do something with you, you know what I mean? It's not a problem, mate. Right. I've got Tempo, obviously he's like big respect to you because obviously he knows Adam, he grew up with him, so. Right. Any words of advice to people that are on production at the moment that want to do production?
Keep at it. Hours, spend the hours, as many as you can, and ask and try whatever you can try, and if you get stuck, keep trying. But if you really get stuck, ask a question. All those getting stuck moments are the best moments because you just make mistakes.
You know what? And you learn by your mistakes.
You make the best things out of mistakes. You'll chop a bit and go, that sounds good.
Best rave you've ever played at?
Ooh, best one. Actually, the best set I think I ever played was in Newcastle because it was a techno set, about 94. But it was a 2-hour set that turned into 4 hours. And it was, 2-hour set that I was meant to be playing, but turned into 4 hours. And by the end of the 4 hours, I was just kind of running out of records. So I was just playing the B-sides, just playing whatever, but it just continued and it was just great.
Sorry, mate. I was just like, what? 2 hours turned into 4?
Yeah. That was probably the best. That's probably the best set I played because it just kept going and the dance floor was full all the time.
Sorry, mate. That's insane. That's really insane. Right. You know what? I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, brother. Thank you for coming on.
Cool. Can I just do one little plug?
Do what you got to do.
Have you seen this?
Hold on. Let me take this out there. What is that?
Jacking. I'm going to get another set. But basically, this is every single DJ. This is a conversation from me and Adam XDC. Right. We were going to the radio show once, and he says, "Always lose my headphone jack. Always losing it." And I said, here's the idea. And he went, "I bet you can't make it." And I went, "All right, I will." So we did. So basically, what it is.
Look at that, guys, man. That's something different, isn't it?
On the key ring.
Where can we buy these? Where can we buy these? Is this your invention?
This is my own invention, yeah. So we've got this, it sells online called jackin.co.uk. But we're literally, the site's down at the moment. You can't buy them yet, but they will be back online within about 2 months. So I'm trying to get them ready for Christmas. So probably beginning of December, I'll have another batch made. Right.
You know what? Put a link in my messenger, mate, and I'll get something put up.
Is this the private? Right. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me that. Jacket.co.uk. I'll tell you some stuff. Send you some images and stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah. Don't forget, man. Jacking.
There you go, guys.
Every single DJ needs it.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Because I mean, there's countless of times when I've turned up to a pirate radio station in London back in the day, and I'm like, damn. Or I've left it there. I got home, and I've got to go and buy, and then I end up with like 9 or something. And they always go missing. Every DJ complains about that.
Absolutely. I mean, when we took this around, Jazzy Jeff was the first one to get one. because he was in Nottingham, and I just kind of gave him a prototype. But every single person, you know, is just like, oh,
good idea, mate.
You know what I mean?
Good idea. Brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant, because it's those small things that matter. Yeah, and it's nice, solid case. 303 steel, weighted, proper weighty. It's not light, it's not flimsy or anything. Well done, mate. Cool. Thank you, Joe. Thank you ever so much for coming on. Let us know when you're gonna do your thing, the 30 years thing, and you know, hit us up and link us in with it, mate, because I'm sure we'll do something for you. Yeah, much respect to everybody listening in as well. Peace. Thank you ever so much, mate. Thank you. Nice one. Take care, yeah. And you, brother. Peace.